Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of The Art of Talking. My name's Josh.
My name's John.
My name's Andrew.
And I'm Coach Rudy,
Hello,
a
Coach
wrestling
Rudy.
coach here at Mountain View High School.
Hello, Coach Rudy. How are you doing?
Good. How are you guys doing today?
Oh, we're doing good.
What expectations do you have, like, for incoming, like, people wanting to join wrestling?
The first expectation for newcomers is just for them to like the sport. Wrestling doesn't seem to be one of the popular sports on campus, right? You know, you have basketball,
Yeah,
soccer,
kinda.
football. It's a little different. So I expect these kids to come in, obviously learn the sport and enjoy themselves wrestling. There's a lot of benefits to wrestling, obviously. The key one is, self-defense. We try to push out there to try to recruit kids. Just the physical activity. It's a rigorous sport, so we expect them to come out and enjoy it and get strong, get fast.
Yeah. Just a quick question to get a little bit of background. How did you get into coaching for wrestling?
So I wrestled in high school. I wrestled at San Gabriel High School, and I started coaching football, and then there was an opening at my high school that needed an assistant. My former coach asked me if I could help him out, and that's how I started. I helped out with the lower levels, the JVs and the freshmen. That's how I started coaching.
Did you coach to any other different schools before you got here to Mountain View?
Oh yeah, So I started off at San Gabriel, my alma mater, and then I was there for a few years, and then I became the head coach at Mark Keppel High School for 2 years, and I stopped there, and I stopped for a little bit until I got here to Mountain View. I've been here at Mountain View about my fourth year now.
Speaking about coaching, how many years have you been coaching, as a wrestling coach?
So I've been coaching going on to like my 10th year now.
Okay.
I started off like 2 years after I graduated. So yeah, going on about 10 years now.
What other coaches assist you for wrestling?
So I have the girls' head coach. He's a teacher on campus, Mr. Sanchez. He's a math teacher. I have a former alumni from Mountain View, Eduardo Barrientos, helping me out. And a personal friend of mine, Elias Rocha, also helping us out.
What challenges do you face, like, going, like, to other schools and CIF, like, currently?
I think the biggest challenge is just experience. A lot of our kids are first-year wrestlers, or have just been wrestling a couple months. You face schools like Arroyo or the top schools out there. A lot of these kids have been wrestling their whole life. A lot of our kids haven't picked up the sport only till they get to high school.
So now that you guys have qualified for CIF, how do you plan to implement certain plans or strategies to get to the next level and try to win?
So now we shift practice now to mastering our skill. So a lot less learning. So now we just fix little techniques that they're missing, try to pick up their conditioning, try to get in that room and start rolling around a lot faster. So focus more on technique now instead of them learning moves. So now we got to master our skill.
Can I ask, how long are your practices usually?
We start we're 3:30 to 6, so not too long, 2.5 hours. We try to get in there, roll around, get some conditioning going in.
It's like you said, the wrestling is somewhat of a new sport to the Mountain View, right? And
Yeah, it's basically like the underdog of sports here at Mountain View.
Yeah, or believe it or not, a little history. In the early or the late '80s, Mountain View was known for wrestling. There was a league title in '89. There was a few individuals who won the CIF championship in '89, and then throughout the years, it just started dwindling down.
Yeah.
I remember when I took over, there's only like about 6-8 wrestlers in the program. So my goal was here just to build it back up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because even now you say there's still a small number of students that join wrestling, and how he was talking about you guys being the underdog, that out of nowhere you're talking about that other students from other schools, they've been practicing wrestling almost their whole lives, and for these students to come in and qualify for CIF, that's like, well, he said like an underdog story. 'Cause
Yeah.
where do you see that? Like,
Yeah, I mean, and I think, believe it or not, I think Mountain View is full of great athletes. And I was, I'm grateful enough to have those athletes come out and join wrestling. And then they picked up the skill really quick. You're right, we have a few underdog stories. And then, it was great. We had a great showing at league finals. We had 3 league champs. With the girls' side, we have about 5 boys going to CIF. So, yeah, we had a great day.
Yeah, it must be really intense. Like, how do you like recruit the students? Do they just come up to you, or they just like find you wrestling interesting?
Well, some happens that way, or other ways. I'm a security guard here on campus, so I'm asking everybody walking by, like, hey, you play any sports? You want to come out, come wrestle, come try to practice out? On the boys' side, it's a little easier because I coach football, so I just pull from the football boys and bring them over to help them wrestle. On the girls' side, it's a little tough to try to get them in there, but I just try to go and recruit, talk to everybody on campus. Mr. Sanchez is a math teacher here, so he has the students in his class, and we try to talk it up as much as possible.
Yeah. I'm a student actually from Mr. Sanchez's class. He's a pretty good teacher. What are his like strategies, or what is he like? Since he's also new here too, somewhat like kind of you, and he teaches females. You said, right?
Yes.
What is he like? What is like teaching style or?
Oh, like strategies.
Yeah.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
So he's more on the technique side. He teaches more of the technique side. He's on the lighter side, so he helps out with that, some moves. He also has like a jiu-jitsu background, so we try to implement a little bit of that too. Some cool moves that we like to show.
It's pretty interesting that we actually have like some experienced people. Like, jiu-jitsu and stuff.
Yeah.
Going back to CIF, what type of expectations do you have for your team?
So right now we're a young team, so I expect us to compete, go out there and try to win some matches. Our ultimate goal is obviously to move on, but if we don't, it's just gaining that experience. We get to see, once you get to CIF, you get to the next level. You get a lot better wrestling, a lot better guys. So just gaining experience from that.
Oh yeah. How do you like deal, like you yourself and the other coaches? How do you guys deal with, like, let's say the stress, or one of your students you're saying to do a certain strategy and the student isn't listening, or he's doing something else? How do you deal with that, like the stress and stuff like that?
Well, we got to take it a day at a time. We also got to realize what we're working with. It could get stressful, right? We want our kids to succeed, and if they're not doing that, it gets a little tough. But we got to take it step by step, day by day, and hopefully they start picking it up and they start growing.
What are like the grade requirements to join the wrestling?
So just like any other sport, you have to have a 2.0 average and above. The key is above, right? We want to have great student athletes. And like we always tell them, student comes first. So if you're messing up in the classroom, then you can't come out and join wrestling or any sport in that sense.
Where and when are tryouts usually like held?
So normally during September we have tryouts. We're in the wrestling room. I think it's on the other side of this classroom.
Yeah.
Right next to the weight room. So, and we're also working on, we're going to have some off-season wrestling starting in March. Okay. So whoever's interested in coming out to wrestling, you can reach out to activities or to Mr. Sanchez.
Yeah, I recently visited the wrestling room. Has it? It looks pretty like kind of like new. I mean, not new, but kind of like it's been there a while.
Yeah, the wrestling room has been there a while, but all those new wall mats were added last year. So the school upgraded a room. We got the mats. We're still working on fixing the room. We're going to paint it a little. We're going to add some pictures of former wrestlers. So we're going to get that room rolling.
I've recently just figured this out, just throwing a fun fact in here. Since we came back from our winter break and we started live streaming, out of all the sports that we started live streaming again, wrestling has actually had the most viewers out of every single sport, like soccer and like other stuff. And to throw a quick stat in here, against Marshall, they had about 400 views, like the live stream.
Oh, nice.
And then against South Amani, they had about 500 views.
Oh, wow.
Like, to put that in consideration, how before there wasn't that much interest in wrestling, and now there's more people. As time goes on, more people are trying to like see like what's wrestling about, or they want to get into it.
Yeah.
You know, and just to show support towards the wrestling team.
Yeah. So when I took over, I took over the social media too. I'm trying to like get as much exposure out there to these kids, and for more kids to learn about wrestling, right? I think that's like the biggest thing here in Almani, or on our side. They didn't know what wrestling is. So I'm on social media, every day, trying to get pictures out of their success, try to promote it in the community.
Oh yeah, and well, it's doing the numbers because, like I just said, it's getting exposure. It's just a matter of time. The more, the better.
Yeah, that's good.
Like at what? When can a kid start wrestling? Like as a freshman or as a? Okay.
Oh, is there like a grade
Yeah.
requirement type?
So there's youth programs. You can start at 5 years old.
Okay.
We're working on bringing a youth program here to Mountain View called Beat the Streets.
Okay.
So it's a kids program. You start at 5 years old, all the way up to your 8th grade year, and then you transition over to high school. So you can start wrestling since 5, but if you wait till high school, you'll be your freshman year. During the summer, come rolling around with us.
I had a question. I don't know like much about wrestling. So how do people usually compete? Is it like by weight or by age?
So it goes by weight.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
every different weight class. So you don't have somebody weighing 200 pounds going against somebody weighing 150.
Oh,
So there's 14 weight classes. The lowest starting at 103, the heaviest being 285. So then you match up by weight class.
oh, interesting. Yeah, I had no idea. Like I thought it was usually by like age.
By age?
Yeah, but because I had no idea.
What are most of your students like weight class like currently? Like your sophomores and your seniors?
So on the boys side, I have more of the upper weights. So from like 150 all the way up to 285. I struggle to get the lighter guys.
Oh, yeah?
Okay.
Like below 120 kids. That's what I struggle in. On the girl side, I think we fill up much of the lineup. I think we have from 101 all the way up to the heavyweights.
Is there anything like you want to say that we didn't ask about?
Yeah. Is there any like anything that you wanna, I guess, advertise to the students, the lower classmen that maybe might be interested in joining wrestling?
I'm just, on the girl side, a little fun fact, I think right now wrestling is one of the top 3 popular sports in America. It's a growing sport. Yeah, it was a dying sport. Now the girls are bringing that up, I think the girl program is what are saving us right now. We had 3 league champs. We have a great showing. And on the boys side, if you want to come, just be tough and get strong, you can come out and join wrestling.
Can I ask that? Does wrestling actually like not support but help with self-defense, like in emergencies or?
Yeah, it does. We teach you certain things to get out of, how to get out of locks, certain stuff. So there's you learn. I don't want to say fight, but you learn how to
Protect yourself.
protect yourself. Yeah.
Or is there anything more that you want to talk about, or
No, and I think
things we didn't cover?
I want to thank you guys. Right.
Oh, yeah.
If you guys didn't offer that live stream and all that stuff, I don't think we'll be getting that exposure. That's a great thing to have here on campus. Not a lot of schools have that. And especially in wrestling, which is not a big sport. But for you guys doing that and Mr. Mann for doing all this, it's helping us get our numbers out there and everything growing. So I want to thank you guys for helping us out do that.
Oh,
Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
yeah. But it's also
Yeah.
you guys. Wrestling is a good
Yeah,
sport.
it is.
Yeah.
I'm
It is.
saying.
It's entertaining to watch.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is.
Honestly, it's a lot of contact. Like it's a lot of like grabbing and stuff. But that's what people like seeing. Like people like seeing like
the action.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the,
the actual
exactly,
aspect.
exactly.
And like people body slamming each other.
No,
and stuff
not
like
not
that.
exactly that.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
exactly like.
No, but it's really interesting. Yeah.
Like one person trying to fight to get out of somebody else's like lock, and somebody's trying to like get that person pinned or something.
Yeah.
It's pretty
course.
interesting.
Well, thank you so much, Coach Rudy, for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Well,
Thank you.
well, this closes off another episode of The Art of Talking.
I'll see you next time.
And yeah, see you next time.